tonight. For roll call, please, Dana. Thank you.
Let me get this real quick. And, okay. Member Hutnick? You here? Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Chiziki?
Yes.
Vice Chair Shu?
Here.
Chair Hedges?
Here.
All present, thank you.
Thank you. We'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Dana, since it's your last evening, will you lead us, please?
I get to do.
How you do.
Okay. Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You, Dana. We'll now go to the appeal notice.
In the event that you disagree with the action taken by the Planning Commission in regards to your application tonight, or with any condition of approval of the application which is not a specific requirement of the Norco Municipal Code, you are entitled to appeal such determination or conditions to the Norco City Council, provided that such appeal is filed with the Norco City Clerk within 10 calendar days after the requirements for appeals, inclusive of payment of an appeal fee.
Thank you. Have any public comments, Dana?
Let's see. Julio, was this for the application that you have in? I'm not sure what item.
I applied today for a permit. I got denied.
Is it on the agenda tonight? Julio De Leon, okay. Okay, if you wouldn't come up to the, okay. I couldn't tell if it was one for the items.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Doesn't it just?
My name is Julio de la O. I purchased a
Can
property.
you pull this mic towards
Oh,
you?
yes.
Thank you.
My name is Julio de la O. I purchased a property here in Norco in 2021 with a steel building existing on it. I wasn't aware that it was permitted or not. In November, late November, a row from the city of Norco came by and told me that I might be in violation. She confirmed that I was in violation with the steel building, that it wasn't permitted. So I did some research on my end on what the requirements were for the city of Norco to have a steel building. I inquired, and I got engineering done and site plans done, and I went yesterday to apply for the permit, and we were told that in 2026, just now, the regulations had changed after I had spent money and investing, trying to get everything right per Norco's requirements. So I just want to appeal to see if there's anything I can do to be able to hit that mark, to be able to keep the building. I purchased the house solely because it's still building. I'm a car collector, so I have a collection of cars in that building. I don't, but everything else in regards to all the requirements for the city, for the property, for the animals, and everything else, I hit the mark. I just need to shorten the building, which I have engineering for, that I was going to get it done once I was able to get the permit. But now I'm being told that I can't have the building at all. And then today I got hit with a violation, a fine. So I just want to know what my parameters are, what my options can be.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't answer up here because it was not on the agenda. You will have to go through the planning department and see what you can do next. I'm sorry.
Okay, no
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you. Will I continue be getting the violations until, okay, okay.
Sir, if you'll leave your contact information with me, we'll reach out to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I have no further speaker cards, Chair.
Thank you. We'll come to item 2A, Planning Commission regular meeting minutes. Anyone have any questions and/or want to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve meeting minutes from December 10th, 2025.
I'll second it.
And Member Hutnick,
Yes.
Member Fiore,
Yes.
Member Shiziki,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shu,
Yes.
and Chair Hedges.
Yes,
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
thank you. We're going to go now to item 4A, and this is yours, Erica.
Okay, item 4A is an accessory building use permit, 2025-12. This is a request to allow a 988 square foot large vehicle garage at 4360 Pedley Avenue, which is located in the A120 zone, which is a low-density agricultural zone. This is an area of the site, which is about half-acre lot, 21,780 square feet of land, and it's primarily flat. This is the site plan that's being proposed. In the outline, the blue outline shows the proposed garage, 38 by 28, which is 988 square feet. To the rear, you'll see the animal keeping area. There is a 5-foot distance buffer between the animal keeping and the garage. And their access from the front, south side of the property, it's about 16 feet wide. Oh, here's the floor plan. They do have a bathroom that is inside the garage. It's less than 50 square feet, which is allowed. Sink and a toilet. No showers are allowed. This is the south side of the elevations. It's very nice. Those are the materials, and it does match the existing dwelling. Maximum height of the structure is at 16 feet 7 inches. This is a north elevation view. West elevation, which again at the peak is 16 feet 7 inches. East elevation view. And the analysis of the proposal, it does meet the development standards in height, size, and lot coverage, and it does meet the setback requirements, the graduated setback requirements. Staff does believe that it meets all the findings in order to approve an accessory building permit. And for the CEQA, we believe that it's categorically exempt. The recommendation is to approve the accessory building use permit 2025-12 with the attached conditions that are on resolution 2026-03.
You, Erica.
Questions?
Shannon, do you have any questions of staff?
No.
Kathy?
Just one, oh, sorry. Maybe I'm upside down on this, but the north elevation to me would seem to be actually the west elevation. Is that not the west end of the building? And then the west one I would see as the north elevation. Isn't the north elevation where?
That does have to be corrected.
Correct. The man door is at the north side of the building, correct? That one's fine. So this would be the one that is approximate to the animal keeping, correct? Am I?
Hold on one second.
Pardon? Okay, okay, good. All right,
Yeah, you're correct, Kathy.
okay, thank you. That's
So
it.
that'll have to be corrected.
Jeff, any questions?
Yeah, more of a clarification. So in the project description in our packet, it indicated that the project is in compliance with the 15-foot access. On the site plan, though, I think it said 13.
Correct.
I want to confirm that and see if there's, yeah, it's a little hard to see there, but in the
Plan
PDF
shows
version,
13.
it does say 13. So I wanted to find out if there's any issues with us pushing it to 15. I don't see any site constraints on that, in that regard. So I just wanted to raise that and ask.
That would be if you wanted to change the animal keeping area to a different location.
No, not the animal keeping, the proposed garage. So plan south here. The distance between the garage to the property line. The project description said that I had 15 feet, but on the drawing itself, it's showing 13.
It's 13, yeah.
So is there an issue pushing it to 15? Because
That-
it seems like we have the space to
You
push
do have
it.
the space. That could be something that could be brought up. The property owner is here.
That's
There
all I
is
have,
space to do
clarification.
that. Yeah, there's space to do that.
Yes, any questions of staff?
Yeah, on that structure's going to have a restroom in it.
Correct.
And the restroom is in the back corner away from the residence. My question is that going to be on a septic tank or is it going to be on the sewer? If it's on the sewer, I'm not quite sure that there's enough fall area for a sewer line to reach to that back corner to get flow. I might be wrong, but it seems like quite a bit of distance off of the main line. So just a thought, and I'd rather see it hooked up to the sewer rather than put a septic tank in.
Yeah,
Can't do
it's,
septic.
yeah,
There you go.
Correct.
So, yeah, so they need to address that issue prior to construction.
yeah. That would be handled through the plan check process with building and safety, going
Just
through all
long
the
as-
divisions.
The only reason I'm saying it is just to make note that somebody does address that issue before construction starts, and then they go, oops, we don't want to see those.
Sure. Thank
My,
you.
my concern also was the 13 feet, because it was identified as 15, but 13 right when the garage comes. And then my other concern was the garage, does the back door open into the animal keeping area? Or is there space between the two? I couldn't see that. I can, it just was the roll-up. Okay, all right, thank you. That's all I have.
And then again, the property owner is here.
Would the property owner like to speak? Let me open the public hearing. State your name, please.
Brian Lambert.
Okay,
Your question regarding the door, it's a roll-up door.
Okay.
So it won't open out into,
What kind of space is between the roll-up door and the animal keeping area?
it's the 5 feet, the
Okay,
5-foot
all right,
buffer.
okay.
Between the, so it's like a regular garage door, just at the back. The question on the 15 feet, is that required? Because I thought we were, 13 was,
15 normally is the requirement leading
it
back
is the
to the
requirement.
animal keeping
Okay,
area.
yeah, I mean, like I said.
You
I
don't have
mean,
any
I can-
problem shifting
No,
over
I can
2
push
feet?
it over. If it's 28 feet, I mean, even if I had to narrow it, it's not the end of the world.
Any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Close the public hearing, bring it back to us. Discussion and/or,
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it as long as we can get the 15 feet in there. And it seemed like the applicant was okay with it.
anybody want to make a motion?
Sorry, I don't have the printout. I will,
Chair, we have no public comments.
Thank you, I'm sorry. I know you would have told me. Thank you.
I will make a motion to approve accessory building use permit 2025-12 with the revised condition to maintain a 15-foot clear between the proposed structure and the property line.
Second.
Member Hutnick,
Yes.
Member Fiore,
Yes.
Member Shiziki,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shu,
Yes.
Chair Hedges.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Move on to item 4B, but I need to recuse myself, so.
All right, we'll move on to agenda item 4B. Presenting it.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here to present item 4B, the Accessory Building Use Permit, 2025-04. The request is to allow a 1,000 square foot large vehicle parking building with an attached 392 square foot shop area located at 4077 Temescal within the A120 zone. This was filed previous to the adoption of the change, and it was determined that we would move forward with this as under the previous ordinance. So here we have the location. The property is A120 and is fully surrounded by A120 in a residential area. Here's an aerial of the property. So here's the site plan. Notably, it is, north is down on this site plan. The two red sheds in the lower left corner, those are permitted structures, and the smaller shed is going to be moved up towards the middle behind the house. That is 120 square feet. The yellow structure is the proposed structure positioning, and then there's access to the animal keeping on the south or top side of the map. These are the elevations, the west and east respectively, in the north and south. The patterning there is representing stucco to match the existing dwelling. Here's the floor plan. There is 3 access doors, as well as a restroom located in the shop area. The restroom is under 50 square feet and contains only a toilet and single bowl sink as is required. This is just demonstrating the area around it. It does meet all of the code requirements for a building of this size. There was a recent code enforcement case that was closed. I have driven by the property twice, and I did not see any outdoor storage or commercial vehicles on the property. There is also a condition of approval that would not allow any home occupation to be performed from the structure. The existing structures on the site were previously permitted, and it's determined to be exempt from CEQA using the Class 32 exemption. So our recommendation is to approve Accessory Building Use Permit 2025-04 with the conditions attached to Resolution 2026-02. Are there any questions?
Dennis, we'll start from your side. Do you have any questions?
I don't really have any questions on this one. It seemed to be pretty cut and dry.
Kathy?
I have a question. The plans submitted would look to me as if there is a solid wall installed to separate the two potential parking areas, but your exhibit that you showed shows it all to be open.
Yes, that is a wall that changes due to the roof being lower. That's not, it's a floating wall. It's not a
Wall.
devising wall.
Okay. All right. My second question has to do with the flat work that was performed on the property at the time that the single-family dwelling was being modified. Riverside County Flood Control has a requirement for anything over 5,000 square foot of consistent, non-permeable space to be permitted through the county. Do we know if that permit was pulled in order to meet the requirements of Riverside County Flood Control?
Unfortunately, I do not have the information. The applicant is here and may be able to assist with that question.
Okay, I think that's important. We've addressed that on other properties in the past, and we do have a provision somewhere in our Public Works code that does establish that permit needs to be pulled. But I know there's no Public Works folks here tonight to clarify or to confirm or otherwise how that's to be handled. What is the planning department's position on reviewing or verifying that before any other type of approval is granted?
I'll take that. It should be reviewed, and it could be a condition that's added that they have to go through and get that taken care of and be part
Okay.
of a condition compliance.
No questions.
Okay. Was there? Go ahead.
One more thing, we did receive multiple public comments that have been distributed to the members of the Planning Commission. Just needed to mention that.
Not there.
Do not have any.
They were sent electronically, and the copies aren't there. Copies weren't made.
If I may add comments on, part of the response is regarding the building review and Public Works review. They receive it during the building permit process. This is more strictly a site plan, so it wouldn't have the architectural or the grading or anything. Simply to determine setbacks and architecture, which is not reviewed by building or Public Works until the actual construction process.
So that would be a Public Works review during
Building
the
permit.
plan check?
Correct,
Okay, as long as that is a part of it?
yes.
Okay.
I guess, Shannon, you're okay. I guess follow up to Kathy's question, and it's more to make sure that we are covered when the review happens, that it doesn't become well, this is an existing condition, so we're not going to review it type of deal, that it will still get reviewed in that regard.
They do look at strictly if there's our standards or codes, and if there's any discrepancy, they'll be noted. At this point in time, if this goes through to approval, is simply just the site plan itself, which is certainly subject to all the other codes of the city, including building code.
Okay, I do have a question that's not strictly related to the design or the building that's being applied, but in relation to the code case that was on this project before, and it was regarding home occupied business. And I guess maybe, Teresa, that may be why you're here. I want to find out from a legal perspective what our city's obligations and our options are when it comes to something that is on a A120 that is supposed to be residential. What obligations are as the city are we under to verify if it is a owner occupied space, and whether or not, I guess I'm not quite sure if I'm phrasing this appropriately, but that it's not being used as a commercial space.
So essentially, it would be part of the code enforcement process, really. Like, if it meets the criteria for what's put before the commission today, and the commission does pass it, and then ultimately, it would be incumbent upon city departments to take a look, and it would essentially become a code enforcement matter in the long term.
I guess I'm just a little curious about how, and I don't know if you have the specifics, like, is it like someone driving by and just seeing if there's someone there, or is there something more technical that is involved? Because ultimately, what we're looking to do is issuing a large vehicle parking, which is, we do it all the time. But I guess the concern is, when I'm looking at this, it's a very small house and a much bigger garage. And so I won't judge anybody on it. There's once upon a time in my life where I wanted a one-bedroom house with an 8-car garage. That's what I wanted. But so that could be something. But I want to just kind of find out what it is from our perspective as far as the city is concerned, in what we are doing, because ultimately what we're up here for is kind of defending our zoning that we have established as a city. And if we're zoning this for residential agriculture, that we're not promoting a commercial use in this area.
So again, like, you're sort of looking at, does this meet the requirements of what we've got, and then it's a yes or no. And, if it is a yes, the enforcement part of it really is post this part of the process. At this point, it's just looking at that, and kind of nothing at this point, right? That's, I think, essentially, like, could we know for sure that it's not being used as commercial? No. But could we take action subsequently if we find out, and there are indications, the code enforcement officers are out there, there are indications. So if it were something that were sort of, flagged for, hey, let's pay attention to this, definitely there could be just additional scrutiny, as you said, driving by, door knocks, things like that, if there are reasonable suspicions that it is actually a commercial property and not residential. But at this point, if it appears residential, it's an RV garage, it's a workshop, and it meets the requirements of the city code, there aren't really grounds to presume that it's something other than what it is.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
All right, any other question for staff? All right, we'll go to public comments. Have any public comments?
Yes, and I do want to point out, we did receive 4 public comments via email. They were all for an opposition of the project, stating the same as what you have been discussing, that possibilities of commercial property or commercial business being utilized on that property, incompatibility with the residential character, and excessive scale and visual impact to the neighborhood. So they were for consistent with opposition on that. Our first speaker is Bonnie Slager.
Hi, Bonnie.
Good evening, everybody. I have a couple concerns on this property. The size of the garage in relation to the house. I can appreciate you want a big garage until you got a couple kids, but anyway, I know that City Council has several times discussed the garage as not being bigger than the house, and I don't know that that's gone anywhere, but this is definitely larger than the house. And I can't tell I don't think the garage is supposed to be taller than the house. But I don't know from the little bit I see. There's an awful lot of concrete there, and Kathy did address that. And by the time they put in that building, there's going to be a lot more concrete. I assume that the building's going to have a concrete floor, so there's going to be an awful lot of concrete on that property. My understanding is that nobody lives in this house. And it looks to me more like it's an industrial use than a commercial use. It seems to be some kind of construction, but that's just what I can tell from looking at the property from the outside. And so I don't know, it's not up to me, but it just, as far as I can see, nobody lives there. And it's a residential neighborhood. I know we have businesses on our ag property that nobody's living on, such as the Eats properties, but they're agriculturally oriented, and this is, to me, it's more industrial than commercial, but that's just me talking. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Our next speaker is Bill Naylor.
Bill?
Evening, Commissioners. Didn't have a real problem with the structure itself, and the other comments, I will let them stand on their own. The one concern that kind of got my attention was back in the back corner. According to the aerial picture that I saw, there's a lot of concrete back there with some small sheds on. The sheds seem to be legal, that's not a problem. But I wasn't sure, based on the diagrams and dimensions that I saw in the thing, whether that concrete actually encroached into the animal keeping area. It's something you might want to check on, just because I don't think they're supposed to have concrete in that area. Just something to look at. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
There's no further comment, Vice Chair.
Okay. The applicant is here. Applicant is here. Would you like to come up to speak?
Good evening, my name is Sam Ursu. I'm the one that actually lives at the property. Any questions for me?
Yes, sort of, for you and for staff. So if you can remain sane so that we can kind of, I guess my question for staff, and I want to ask the question so that you're here and being aware of it as well, is what we're talking about this in terms of the hypothetical of it's being used for a commercial use rather than residential use. I guess, what is the repercussion if we approve this and it ended up being that? We revoke the use permit, do they demo the building? I guess I want this answer so that the applicant is aware that these are the conditions that we're approving it under, and if code enforcement finds out that it is not, what are the repercussions for that?
I can probably help with that a little.
You have experience there.
But our city attorney touched on it. It is truly the process that we would go through code enforcement and take the steps that are established through government code. There is the notice of violation, a second, possibly first, second, and third citations, and at least as of the time I left, the next step was a demand letter from the attorney, and then move on in that direction. All those are established by government code, and we've been very consistent in enforcement, but you're right, it would have to start at the beginning.
So the question that I have with this regard is, I understand how code enforcement and how it would work when a building is in violation in terms of, okay, we've observed that the building is 5 foot bigger than it's supposed to be, and then we issue a citation, they need to reduce it, type of deal. But in a case like this where we are approving something for residential use, and it's in the condition that it is not for a home occupied business, if it's found that it is being used for a home occupied business, what is the remedy, I guess?
So
I mean, if the usage meets the city municipal code, then it's a permissible usage. If the usage is outside of what's permissible under the Fountain Valley Municipal Code, I can confirm, I'm sorry, I apologize, the Norco Municipal Code, I apologize. Thank you. Exactly what Commissioner Fiore said, and that is the correct process. The owner would be cited, several citations would be issued, and then there would be enforcement action. And I can confirm that City of Norco has taken enforcement action in exactly this type of situation. It's not uncommon at all for sort of an improper usage to be the subject of either citations, and then if there is no cessation of, let's say, business in a residential area, then city could take further action and steps, including litigation matters, to shut down the business usage of the property.
Okay, I think that clarifies it for me. I wanted to get your feedback and your buy-off on the understanding that these are the conditions that were.
The residence as a business.
Okay.
You know, I'm a simple guy, I go to work and I come back. I mean, I think I have that right to go to work and come back.
Yep.
You know, if I choose to leave for a couple of days, I do travel quite a bit. If I choose to, the house, there's nobody there when I'm not there, but I mean, I don't use it, I don't run a business from the house or anything like that.
So here's the question. If you are traveling, let's say a week,
Yes,
and you're
and
not
I do a
at
lot of
home.
traveling, because
So you're not at home. But if somebody else is using the house at the time,
nobody's using it if I'm not there.
okay. But, like I said, this is kind of out of our purview. I just wanted this to be clarified here so that you as the applicant understands the conditions which we are being asked to review and approve this.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have any additional comments?
You know what, since these were not distributed, I will go ahead and put these in, read these into the record. I feel more comfortable with doing that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Come back and we'll have comments.
And so the first one, this one is just do not disclose my email address. And these are when you make a public comment, they are public record, and they are capable for viewing by the public on who wrote these. The first one is opposition to an accessory building use permit. Dear members of the Planning Commission, I'm writing to express my strong opposition to the proposed accessory building use permit 2025-04. Incompatibility with residential character. The proposal represents a commercial operation within a residential zone. The A120 zoning designation is intended for residential use with animal keeping and rural living. The very characteristics that define Norco as Horsetown, USA, converting residential property into what is essentially a commercial vehicle storage facility fundamentally contradicts the purpose and character of the zoning district. Large residential lots in the A120 zone exist to preserve our community's equestrian heritage and rural lifestyle, not to accommodate commercial vehicle parking operations. This use is inappropriate for a residential neighborhood where families keep horses, enjoy open space, and maintain the agriculture character that makes Norco unique. Excessive scale and visual impact, a 1,000 square foot vehicle parking building combined with a 392 square foot shop area creates a massive structure totaling 1,392 square feet. A building that is scale is excessive for an accessory structure and will create significant visual impacts on neighboring properties. Residents in this area have reasonable expectations of maintaining views on the open rural character of their neighborhood. This oversized commercial style building will block views, create an industrial appearance inconsistent with residential surroundings, and diminish the quality of life for nearby property owners who choose to live in residential equestrian community. Precedent concerns approving this commercial use in the residential zone sets a dangerous precedent. If one property owner can operate a large vehicle parking facility on residentially zoned land, what prevents others from doing the same? This could lead to the gradual erosion of Norco's residential and agricultural character, transforming neighborhoods into commercial operations. Conclusion, I urge Planning Commission to deny Accessory Building Use Permit 2025-04. The proposed large-scale commercial vehicle parking operations is incompatible with A120 residential zoning, inappropriate for a neighborhood designated for animal keeping and rural living, and harmful to the visual character and property values of surrounding homes. Norco's identity as Horsetown, USA depends on preserving residential neighborhoods for their intended purposes. This proposal works against that goal and should be rejected. Thank you for considering my concerns. This one here. Here it is. Right here. So the next one is I am the next door neighbor and I object to the granting of this conditional use permit. This property is being operated as a commercial business, along with my neighbors have the expectation of living in an A120 zone. There has not been any person living at that property since it was sold. I fear that the wool is being pulled over your eyes. On weekday mornings around 7 a.m., I observe several employees arrive in their personal vehicles, park them, and climb into their work vans while one employee enters the office. Then, as if being dispatched, the unmarked white vans out of their assignments for the day. Then, like clockwork, they start rolling in around 4 p.m. and drive to the back of the property and resupply their vans out of the two back buildings that act as warehouses. These employees then get their personal vehicles and leave for the day. This goes on Monday through Friday. My wife even had to talk to the property owner about his employees drag racing 3 abreast down Temescal Avenue. The property owner said it wouldn't happen again, and it hasn't. Also, there are virtually no signs of life over there on the weekends. The property owner has gone to great lengths to make it appear that someone is living there. He put up Christmas lights, has timers and lights inside the house, had chickens and a turtle that have since disappeared, and even parked a motorcycle and four-wheeler in front of the house. All of this just to try and fool you. Our next one here is, this is in regards to the proposed 1,000 square foot vehicle parking building attached to 392 square foot shop. First of all, this is currently a fully operational business with a residentially zoned neighborhood, and now they are requesting that they be allowed to expand their business. As neighbors who live a few houses across from this property, we are once again concerned by the fact that the city is allowing businesses to operate within its residential neighborhoods. There are multiple properties all over Norco's main streets that could be developed for their businesses. But instead, the city is allowing homeowners to open their businesses because they happen to have the property to do so. We thought the vision of Norco was that of a rural community with property designated for animals and agriculture, not businesses. In closing, we oppose this project due to our concerns that it will not only diminish the charm that is Norco, but in time it will be the norm and the Norco that we love. The Norco that my wife and her family grew up in will be gone forever. And this one is from a concerned resident, and it is quite lengthy, so I will need to put the 3-minute timer on this because I know it's not going to meet the 3-minute timer on this one. Just in case. I read fast, but not that fast. Request to deny site plan number 2025-04. We respectfully request that the commission deny site plan review number 2025-04, which proposes a 390 square foot shop area at 4077 Temescal Avenue. On a daily basis, we observe multiple white business vans leaving this property each morning and returning each evening. The property consists of 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom, along with numerous storage sheds, some visible from my backyard due to their height, and they provided exhibit. The applicant, Mr. Ursu, owns this property and at least 3 others in Riverside. He holds an electrician license under Bear Electric, and other individuals with the same last name operate Dash Electric and Volt Tech Electric. One purported related person owns 3 properties along 6th Street in Norco, including 2 commercial properties, one of which of the electrician businesses previously mentioned. Collectively, these parties own multiple properties in Norco and Riverside and appear to be conducting business operations from residential sites. I'm providing the background for what appears to be family members or related persons who own many properties throughout Riverside County and are clearly businessmen. This property is not zoned for commercial use and should not be used as such. Photos in Exhibit A show company vehicles and what appears to be electrical equipment stored on site. The owner does not reside at this address and is using it to run a business, including storing vehicles and equipment. If approved, this plan would set a dangerous precedent for businesses operating in residential zones. For these reasons, we urge the commission to reject this proposal. Basis for denial: conflicts with the A120 zoning purpose. The property is zoned A120 agricultural, low density, 20,000 square feet minimum, Norco Municipal Code 18.13.010. Commercial activity exceeds home occupation limits, Norco Municipal Code 18.32020. Traffic and safety concerns, frequent ingress and egress of business vans obstructs the equestrian trail along Temescal Avenue, creating safety hazards. Requested condition should restrict the building to personal vehicle storage, preserve adequate animal keeping area, maintain setbacks from property lines, remove all existing illegal structures, prohibit company vehicles from being stored on site, require a city inspection within 6 months of completion and annually thereafter, require proof of a valid business license. For the reasons stated above, we urge the commission to deny site plan review number 2025-04. In the alternative, adopt the conditions listed herein. Thank you for your consideration. Respectfully submitted, a concerned resident. And I will go ahead and provide, I did it, the exhibits that are included.
Thank you, Dana. You want some water?
Exactly. I lost my water. Okay, thank you.
All right, so we'll close public hearing portion of it and bring it back to the committee. Dennis, you had questions, comments?
Yeah, my comments earlier were to address the structure itself only. The CUP is a whole nother issue and should be hammered out in completion with the applicant completely reviewing it and signing it and certifying it with the city that they will comply. So if there's anything in the future that follows up on that, there it is. That's the cut and dry part of it, is the building is the building and the usage is part of that CUP.
Kathy? No. Shannon?
I mean, I think we should put something in there regarding it not having any commercial use on the property, just to make sure, because we have the no home-based business, but I don't think that clarifies it as far as saying like exactly like no commercial use, no industrial use, no manufacturing, no storage, and spell it out in black and white. So,
I want to take a little different tack on this because I've experienced something in my neighborhood where Kathy actually was the code enforcement for my neighbor behind me, and it was a structure that was causing a safety concern because their roofing was flying off of their barn and was shearing off my panels. That was when Andy was city manager. They were supposed to have demolished that. That building is still there. And so I have some concerns about when something is cited and when action is taken. And so I have a bit of a concern of the asking for forgiveness versus asking for permission aspect of it. And I'm not putting it on you, Kathy, because I know you can't go and knock down the barn yourself. I'm just expressing that. But I do want to take a little bit of a step back and just kind of get our legal interpretation on this for my purposes. Conditional use permit is discretionary. What is our liability and kind of what's our exposure here if we do deny? Because as I said, this, on the face of it, this is a very normal structure that we've approved in the past. But what I cannot overlook is the testimony of the neighbors who are there day in and day out, who are saying, this is a business, this is a business. And so it's really difficult for me to kind of pass something with the neighbors' input on that. And so I kind of want to get a understanding of what kind of legal challenges are we dealing with on a discretionary approval if we deny?
So the commission would want to base the denial on one of the criteria that's within the conditional use permit discretionary criteria. And then every decision, as was read at the beginning, is appealable. So it ultimately would be something that would be considered, but I would say the commission needs to take a look at the criteria in the conditional use, in the Fountain Valley Municipal Code, in the conditional use, yeah, oh my gosh. Can you tell what I was working on today, the whole day? In the cities, I sincerely apologize to the citizens and to the commission. In the municipal code, and then base it on that criteria. And it's a legitimate legal finding if the commission says, look, this doesn't meet the criteria within the Norco municipal code, and these are the reasons for our denial.
Yeah, I
I
wanted
may-
to
Ms.
speak to.
Commissioner Fiore.
You're referring to CUP, but we're not in the realm of a CUP.
Well, this is an accessory building, and I know the conditional use, and I think, so I'm a little bit confused. It appears that some of the commissioners are referring to perhaps a request for a conditional use permit related to the business usage. I think what's before the commission today is the structure. Yeah, and so again, if it meets the Norco municipal code requirements, unless there's something within the municipal code that the commission finds, is a basis for denial, then there isn't a lot of leeway in that regard.
If I may add to that, there are 3 findings in our code in order to approve a conditional use permit. And I'd like Mike to read those into the record, and if there's a reason why any of those 3 findings cannot be made, I guess if the commission their intent is to deny the project, you need to state into the record why a particular finding cannot be made. And so, Mike, will you read those in?
Okay. The 3 findings. The first finding is the requested accessory building use permit is consistent with the general plan and zoning requirements of the zone in which the property in question is located, including the protection of adequate open animal areas on lots where keeping of large animals is permitted. The second finding, the requested accessory building use permit will not have an adverse effect on the public convenience or general welfare of persons residing or working in the neighborhood thereof, and will not adversely affect adjoining land uses, including runoff and drainage impacts and architectural compatibility. The third finding is the City of Norco, acting as the lead agency, has determined that the project is categorically exempt from the environmental assessment per Class 32 infill development projects of the California Environmental Quality Act, also known as CEQA. And those are the 3 findings required for an accessory building use permit.
Michael? Dennis? Any follow-up? Kathy? No? Shannon? I do still feel that there's a bit of a conflict on it, but I also acknowledge that we are not here to just willy-nilly do whatever we want, that we do need to follow rules on what we can and can't do. So does someone want to make a motion?
Sure. Okay, I move to approve the request to allow the 1,000 square foot large vehicle.
Sorry, before you finish that. I agree with what we're trying to do here. My concern would be, is there something that we can add in the condition to help bolster the requirement that it is not used for commercial?
Can I speak
Well,
to that?
that
There really
condition-
isn't. Like, we're looking at what is before the commission, and it's, does this meet the requirements of the municipal code? If it does, then we move forward with it, and it really does become a code enforcement matter. And I think at this point, the code enforcement team can sort of flag it for attention, but it's not what's before the commission at this point.
Thank you, Teresa.
And if I might add, there is a condition number 8 that does state that a home occupation business shall not be permitted. So that is it's pretty broad, and it would give authority for code enforcement to move on any violation.
Sorry, Kathy.
Okay. You just were testing me to see if I was going to make it through this. Okay. I move to approve accessory building use permit 2025-4 and allow the 1,000 square foot large vehicle parking building with attached 392 square foot shop area, 4077 Temescal.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Member Hutnick?
Yes.
Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shidziki?
Yes.
And Vice Chair Shu?
No.
Voting no. Has abstained. Yes. So motion carries with Vice Chair Shu voting no.
Thank you. And can we get someone to get Pat back in here? Thank you, Bill.
Okay, we are now back to item 4C. And this is yours, Mark? Whose is this?
It's mine.
Erica, sorry.
Okay, item 4C is actually a discussion item to clear a condition from an approved conditional use permit on resolution 2024-22, condition number 16 for a graphic element. Little background: on May 1st, 2024, City Council approved cell tower agreements to develop a multi-carrier cell tower near the northeasterly corner of the Silver Lake Sports Park at 555 Hamner Avenue. August 14th, 2024, the Planning Commission approved a conditional use permit to allow the construction and operation of a 70-foot tall freestanding telecommunications facility that will accommodate 2 wireless carriers with antennas that will conceal, carriers with antennas concealed within the fake water tank structure. This is the approved site plan from the conditional use permit from back in 2024. shows the location. Condition number 16 of Resolution 2024 requires that the installation of a graphic element on the facade of the water tank, and those conditions specify that you have, that you show that the graphic element be installed into the facade of the water tank, that the graphic element shall be paid by the applicant, that the specific design and theme of the graphics shall be selected by the city of Norco, that the developer should work with the city or shall work with the city on the design, the placement, lighting, and the size prior to final building division approval. The intent of this condition is to transform the structure into an appealing, community-oriented feature that reflects Norco's identity, rather than just having a standard wireless installation. So the city's communications division, headed by Kelly, did a really good job with this graphic. It is, it's beautiful. So it's a wraparound art that celebrates Norco's rich history, our identity, and our patriotic spirit. And it does align with our core values, which you see there, agrarian heritage, the all-American small-town character, agricultural animal keeping lifestyle that we strive to keep, the rural equestrian-oriented atmosphere. They did a really good job. And this is the proposed design. And what we're asking for is, if the Planning Commission agrees with this, to direct staff to clear the condition. Condition number 16 of Resolution 2024-22. I'm here if you have any questions, and then Kelly is also here from Communications Division.
Thank you. Any questions, Shannon?
No.
Kathy?
I do, and this might be obvious to most, but not to me. So if I'm on the freeway, I'm going to see this, right? Okay, that's a good thing. No, I love it, so there's no question there.
Just for the record, the intent is for you to see it from the freeway.
Right.
I'm not the developer, and I cannot guarantee that.
Okay.
But that is the intent.
So as I look at the site plan and I see the placement of it, and then I look at the fact that the design is only to be seen from the west and the east, and the freeway runs north and south, I would have expected that the design would be on the north and south sides of it.
However, it's on the northeasterly corner of the property.
Right.
So it would be on the east side of the tank. Jeff, you want to help me out with that?
Right. I see. But if I'm driving up the freeway, I'd have to go like this to see it on the east side of the tank. But if I'm driving toward it, I would see it, you know what I mean? The design would show longer distances, both directions, going north and south. Am I missing something? You're the art. I want to see it. I want to see this from the freeway.
Part of it is also, if you're approaching it from the north side and you're southbound, I think you're actually cut off from it until you're right next to it. So I
Right.
think
But from the south, from the south going north,
yeah, on the northbound, you would see
would
it
have
longer.
longer distance, but that's going to be the blank side of it.
Yeah. So maybe we take a look at maybe not just opposite side, but maybe skewed a little bit. But I think the intent here is to kind of review the design and see if we're good with the design aspect of
We
it,
can
right?
get into discussion. That's just questions. and stuff.
Well,
Come back
it's
to you.
showing, you know,
No, I
the
agree.
forward direction, so that I didn't know whether that,
We can definitely change the side that it's on with the direction of the commission.
sorry.
There's no apologies to me at all. Not at all.
Okay.
The rendering was created by the applicant.
Right.
So that would just go back to them, correct?
Kelly, stay there for a minute in case we have
Yeah.
a question. Jeff, any questions?
This is terrible, Kelly. No, I really love this. I have more of a technical question.
Okay.
Have you guys thought about what the graphics are going to be made of? Like, is it going to be painted, or is it going to be vinyl type? And the follow-up to that is the maintenance aspect of it, on who's going to be taking care of it, because if it's painted, then how many years down the line before we have to paint it again? Versus like if we simplified it down in terms of the background and have the silhouette and having it something that's actually like a piece of metal or something, it would be much lower maintenance. I didn't know if the discussion of material has taken place.
I have very limited information from the applicant, who stated that the tank manufacturer will paint the graphic onto the tank prior to the installation. And they have supplied approved paint colors that were approved via permitting, which I assume was with planning. So I'm not sure if Erica has more information on that.
I'm a little concerned about using paint to achieve those graphics. I have a feeling that especially the more intricate the graphics is, the sooner it'll fade in terms of visibility. So, yeah, that was.
Dennis, any questions? Of staff?
Yeah, I would like to see, prior to putting the graphics on there, to banner the structure. In other words, put a banner up in the positions where the graphics are going to be, and then have a look at it to see if it's viewable from the freeway in both directions, or how it's viewed. In other words, put it up temporary so you can look at it and not go, again, the oops factor, we put it in the wrong spot.
Well, I think what Kelly was just saying is that they would paint it on before it's installed, because I think the concern is it would be really hard for a muralist to be up there to do that. And they probably have to pay a lot for someone to do that.
Yes, and I cannot speak on behalf of the applicant with this. My purpose here tonight is to get your feedback on the artwork, and any questions about application or placement would be with the planning division.
My only question, is there any type of lighting involved?
Erica?
I mean, it's going to be dark at
Yeah,
night.
so, there's another, excuse me, condition of approval that requires a photometric plan. We don't have that yet, but that's a separate condition. This one is specific
That's
to
for the design.
the graphics.
I thought the original tower had a rear lit Norco sign. I thought, maybe I'm remembering the Hamburg sign instead, but I thought there was one of those rear lit letters on there.
We have
I
the
didn't
other
see
sign
that,
up there.
but even if there is, they would have to come to planning. They have to submit an application with a fee and a photometric plan for us to see that.
Thank you. Yeah. Do we have any comments?
We have no public comments on this item.
Bring it back to us and discussion.
I really like the graphics of it, but like I said, my concern is with the maintenance aspect of it, and I don't think it's clear from the previous approval on who would be responsible for the maintenance. And so, one, I'd want to make sure that we're not responsible for the maintenance aspect of it, and if we are, then I would certainly push for a lower maintenance option where it will look good a year, 2 years, 5 years down the line. But I love the graphics.
I like the graphics too, but even though we're talking about, here's the recommendation, it says, approve the proposed graphic element, including its placement and coordinated lighting. So we don't have that information. I'm not sure how we make that decision when we don't know how the lighting, where the lighting goes. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be hard to approve something we don't know anything about.
We don't have the lighting.
But it says we're approving the lighting here,
Right. There is no lighting right now.
so we can't approve the
But,
lighting.
yeah. So if there is lighting that comes in, they do have to on a separate, I don't know why it was done with two different conditions. They do have to come to us, again, separate application with a separate fee, with a photometric plan for us to review for any type of lighting. So,
But I think their point was that lighting is an expected element, and that how would we ensure that that actually does come in?
Well, also, I would think if we're gonna do this without knowing what the lighting is, we would just take that out. We're not going to approve the lighting, we're just improving the graphic. To me,
Right.
that's what you can do. Kelly, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I believe I can answer your question regarding the maintenance. So condition 17, as a reminder, this is condition 16. So the following condition 17 states that the wireless facility and all faux elements, including but not limited to siding material, lighting fixtures, and graphic elements shall be maintained by the developer in a good working condition to a standard acceptable to the city. And they are responsible for maintaining the graphic element installed into the facade of the water tank.
Then let's go paint it.
Any other discussion? Any?
Got another comment.
Of course.
Has Streets and Trails, have they reviewed this and looked at it? And also has Historical Commission, have they looked at it and given their blessing on it? Do they have any comment before it came to us?
so this is only to clear a condition of a previously approved conditional use permit. We would not typically take it to either of those commissions for.
Seems like
or-
Streets and Trails would have a whole lot to say about it. It's kind of like right up their avenue.
But it's not something new. We've already approved this. This is just one of the conditions inside that. So it's
That what
nothing
it-
new, yes.
And just as a point of legal matter, since it is a condition, we can't add conditions to the condition that's already here. We're trying to sort of decide, does this meet the requirements of the condition?
Well, having the maintenance issue clarified, I'm comfortable with it. I don't know what others. I'm not sure how that would work because you're seeing it with east, west, north, south, but it's round. And so when you have four of it, you're so
It could be a running horse around the tower.
so it would actually look a little weird with four sides. I think having two sides is okay. We can condition it so that a bit of a line of sight study is done before final
Yeah, I like
placement.
that.
Is that?
I mean, you could
Condition.
suggest, but it's not part of, like, I mean, the thing is, we can't open it up, there's no public comment, it's part of a resolution, and it's been decided. So commission can make comments about it, but the determination really is just looking at, does this graphic meet the conditions that the resolution had?
Well, can we flip back a few pages because I don't have the printout and I don't have the recommendation. Sorry. Okay, I will make a motion to approve the graphic element, including the placement and the coordinated lighting for the facade of the multi-carrier wireless telecommunication facility for the full water tank under conditional use permit number 2023-11. And authorize the planning division to declare condition number 16 of the resolution 2024-22, subject to the installation of the approved graphics and lighting prior to building division's final approval.
Second.
Member Hutnik?
Yes.
Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shiziki?
Yes.
Vice Chair Shu?
Yes.
And Chair Hedges?
No.
Motion passes with Chair Hedges voting no. Thank you.
Going to go on to item 5A. And this is yours, Mark?
Yes. Mike will be presenting this, our associate planner,
Okay.
our contract planner.
Good evening again. Just a note, this is not an accessory building permit. I do not know how that. This is a proper conditional use permit for 2024-02 for a Verizon Wireless disguised tower. So the request is to construct a 55-foot tall freestanding wireless telecommunication facility disguised as a eucalyptus tree located at 140 Hidden Valley Parkway within the Gateway Specific Plan Commercial District. So there's a few site plans in effect in this shopping center. The most recent site plan covers that area of the shopping center for parking calculations. Specifically, it's going to be in the middle of the spine on that section of parking that is between the buildings there. The actual project is going to be up against a existing trash enclosure and try to meld the walls together to make the appearance that is part of that initial structure. It is going to be occupying approximately 3 parking spots. So the blue is the existing trash enclosure, and the red is the proposed wall that's going to be placed there. These are the west and north, and this is the east and south elevations. I do have some photo simulations. So these are from the south looking north towards the parking. If you look on the left, that's what currently exists, and on the right is what is proposed. This is from within the shopping center. It will be somewhat visible above the buildings. And this is from the right-of-way going past that upside-down L-shape section of property. You can see it poking up right above near the corner there. So the project site is the shopping center in the Gateway Commercial District. It is surrounded on 3 sides by commercial district of the Gateway Specific Plan. To the south, there is a mobile home park that is part of the city of Corona. The property owner was notified of this. So there are 3 findings for a conditional use permit. The requested conditional use permit will not adversely affect the general plan or the public convenience or general welfare of persons residing or working in the neighborhood thereof. The requested use will not adversely affect adjoining land uses and the growth and development of the area in which it is located. Number 3 is the size and shape of the site is adequate to allow the proposed use. The traffic generated by the proposed use will not impose an undue burden upon the streets and highways in the area. And then wireless facilities require an additional set of findings to be made. There is adequate space on the property for the antenna and accessory wireless equipment without conflict with existing structures on the property or reducing required parking, landscaping, or other development standards. The second one is the design and placement of the antenna and accessory wireless equipment will not adversely impact the use of the property, other structures located on the property, or the surrounding area or neighborhood. 3 is the antenna and the accessory wireless equipment as proposed are consistent with the intent of this chapter to comply with the general standards for wireless telecommunication facilities and any special standards below. And the 4th is the public right-of-way will not be adversely impacted, and for small cells, the proposed wireless telecommunications facility will comply with adopted small cell standards and guidelines policy. Staff recommends approval of conditional use permit 2024-02 with conditions attached to resolution 2026-01. And I'm available for questions. I believe the applicant does have someone here if you need.
Any questions, Kathy, of staff?
Okay, I was prepared to respond to a pine tree.
I do
So
apologize.
I know a lot about fake pine trees that are supposed to be wireless towers, but I don't think I've ever seen a eucalyptus. Do we have actually a real picture of a eucalyptus? I even tried to Google it, and it's not a popular one, so I couldn't find a picture.
The photo simulations are the items we have. This was originally handled by Mr. Acuna, the senior planner. Based on his notes, the architectural review committee said that this was an acceptable disguise, but we only have the photo simulations to view.
Okay, but what the drawings I'm looking at look a lot more like pine tree drawings than eucalyptus, but I guess, and I realize this is in a place that is not generally public view. I mean, you've got to really want to go behind floor and decor in order to see that. Not many people will do that. I understand that. My experience with the pine tree versions in town is that they have not fared well with our winds and with the heat, and very soon degraded, such that as a code enforcement officer, I had to do enforcement in 3 different locations in the city. And it took almost a year to get the wireless folks to resolve it because there are too many layers of approvals, communication in general. It was really hard to get to the right person, but once we did, it was still another 6 months because that's just kind of the way it works. So I had understood years ago that all future approvals would be something in the nature of what we saw in the last item, that it would be more of a water tower or something, relevant to our agrarian environment. And I'm only concerned about the maintenance aspect of it, because again, they just didn't last for the number of years that they had intended to without falling apart. Location makes sense, of course. It's an underutilized parking lot. The biggest use of those 3 parking spaces on a weekly basis is everyone's couches that they don't want to take to the dump. So this property owner has a horrific time dealing with everybody's carpeting, and well, now they won't go there, but they'll go into some of the other parking spaces.
Do you have any other questions of staff?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. Shannon?
My background, I had a chance to deal with 3 of these facilities in Corona, and the one off of McKinley and Sampson, the Planning Commission for Corona approved, and it all looked good until when I went out to final the project, somebody went in the night before and did some shopping in there and cleaned them out. And so what they ended up doing was the structure that was approved was completely changed. They put razor wire up and they put whatever, and the whole thing got changed, but nothing reverted back to the planning commission of what the project really was. And the facilities like this one here is tucked back into a parking lot and behind buildings. And our law enforcement, I don't believe, spends much time going back there on a regular basis to look at things. So what I can visualize happening is we're going to possibly approve something, and then they're gonna find out they're gonna have some issues, and the walls are gonna get raised, and things are gonna get changed and whatever. Second of all,
Is there a question for him?
well, my whole thing is this going to be as changes are made in the structure in order to stop vandalism or stop whatever, are they gonna come back and say, hey, we're gonna make changes? Are you going to approve these changes? You know, how is this gonna work? Because it's so far, in my experience, I've seen where it never did happen. It just, oh, well, you know, you guys approved this, and this is the way it turned out. This is our as-built.
So we do have a condition that regulates any future modification of the location, the facility, or operations shall be reviewed and approved by the Planning Division and the Community Development Director. So
They would have to come back if there was any kind of
serious
modifications.
modification should come back to us and say, here's what our as-built is gonna look like. Do you wanna approve this? And then we go from there. It's just like the pine tree, you know, as soon as they stick this pine tree up, they're going to add equipment to it. I mean, that's all it's a given, that's just what they do. And so it looks good in the picture of this pine tree, but 6 months from there, when they start adding the repeaters and all the stuff up to it, you have all the stuff sticking out from it, and it doesn't even look like that anymore. It looks completely different. So we're gonna prove the initial, but not the actual. So what I'm saying is, are they going to be coming back and saying, hey, here's the modifications? Do we redo that, or we just have to go along with it?
The conditions of approval would specify any visual changes or modification to the site would go either to the director and the planning division, not either, sorry. So that would come back to you up here if there was any changes. I'm not an expert on the specific Spectrum Act, but minor changes I don't think are included in that condition due to that.
Yeah, I'm talking about serious modifications. In other words, one whole half of this tree changes and becomes a full-blown antenna structure, and it's no longer a tree anymore.
Right, so you have plans that are attached for approval, and anything that requires modifications, significant modifications especially, will go back to the Planning Commission. So they would have to file an application for a request to modify, and we would have to bring it back for approval.
That answers my question right there, that it does come back.
Thank you, Dennis. Do we have any,
We have no public comments on this item.
would you like to come up, sir? Yes, please.
Good evening. My name's Tom Johnson, here tonight on behalf of Verizon. Thank you for your presentation this evening. Some of the feedback, some of the comments I'd love to address and discuss further with you. As you know, the project does meet code, and Verizon is in the middle of just trying to enhance and pine trees, if new, they're much better, much more durable. The eucalyptus tree is by far superior from an aesthetic standpoint, from a durability standpoint down the road. They screen the antennas, they screen the radios a lot better than a pine tree does because, you know, the pine tree has that conical shape, whereas the eucalyptus tree is the opposite. And so within that structure, you're able to conceal the antennas and the radios so that you don't see from your public view like you would a pine tree. Maintenance standpoint, that kind of goes back to the same point. Being a eucalyptus tree, it is more durable than a pine tree used to be. Modifications, vandalism. I'm not familiar with the back of this property historically and what goes on back there. Sounds like there's some issues. Some things that we do, like on schools, specifically school campuses, we will do a wrought iron top over the equipment enclosure, which would then prevent, we use it to prevent balls from getting in and kids getting in, but this would be the same instance. We could do a wrought iron enclosure on top so the people can't climb in and then throw garbage, whatever might take place. I think that would be a good use, if you guys have that experience here, to implement a wrought iron top on top of that 8-foot wall structure. Modifications down the road, I mean, obviously, all carriers touch their facilities every year, 2 years, 3 years, because we're always replacing antennas, we're always replacing radios. As everything evolves, the frequencies change, radios change, antennas change, we need to constantly be keeping up with the technology. So that's where the Spectrum Act comes into play and what we can do within a structure. There's guidelines, specific federal guidelines that we have to meet, the cities have to abide by, that allow us to make certain design criteria changes that can either be approved at a building permit level or at a municipal, going at administrative review. City of Norco pretty much does all modifications, which are called 6409 modifications, done as a building permit review. Planning signs off during that process. So anything outside of that threshold then would fall into a different criteria. And usually that's all just replacing antennas, replacing radios, etc. I think I covered the concerns and the questions. Was there anything else that you would like to discuss?
Any other questions?
Not questions, but you did bring up a point with the cover.
Yes.
And you'll notice on the trash enclosure, that is a recent addition because of the amount of nonsense in that little.
That little 2-foot extension on top of it?
Yes, that because they had so much trouble with.
Got it.
On and on, every day. So,
Makes
yeah, that
sense.
does make a lot of sense to kind of follow that same preventive measure.
Yep. Yep.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we'll bring it back to us. Discussion. Oh, I'm sorry.
Will you please close the public hearing?
Yes, the public hearing is closed, although I didn't even open it.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Discussion and/or anybody want to make a motion? Jeff? That's what you.
I make a motion to approve conditional use permit number 2024-02, subject to the attached conditional approval on resolution 2026-01, with the addition of the wrought iron screen over the enclosure.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Member Hutnick?
Yes.
And Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shaziki?
Yes.
Vice Chair Shu?
Yes.
And Chair Hedges.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Go to item 5B, and this is continued, and how do you want us to handle it, just as a continuation?
This item will also be presented by Mike Martin. It's a continued item.
Unfortunately, the reviews were not concluded in time for this to make the meeting. We are going to continue this item off calendar until the reviews are complete of the revised plans.
What do you need from us? Just
A
motion to
Motion for.
continue?
I'll make a motion to continue site plan 2025-02 off calendar.
If I may also comment, that means we will need to renotice as well and publish the notice.
Okay. Member Hutnick?
Yes.
Member Fiore?
Yes.
Member Shizuki?
Yes.
Vice Chair Shu?
Yes.
And Chair Hedges.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you.
Staff, have any further communications, or commissioners have anything they want to agendize? I want to say, Dana, we will very much miss you, and it's been great. We
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
all that you've done. Thank you
You're
very much.
retiring?
Yes, she is. This is her last meeting tonight.
Retiring from government.
You could come sit here with Bill and Bonnie and just point and laugh instead.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you,
We're
Chair
gonna
Head.
miss
Oh,
you.
after you. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Pardon?
Separate item. At our next meeting, I'll be presenting a legislative update on new laws that have passed and went into effect this year. And there's been a request for that, and we think it's an excellent idea to bring everyone up to speed, including staff, with current legislation. And then following that, I think 2 meetings from now, we'll be doing a CEQA refresher to provide an orientation and update on how CEQA operates and some of the new legislation associated with that as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, all right, then we are officially closed. Thank you.